Hello everybody, we are back with another update on the Aqua One Mini Reef 90, and for this week we have actually quite a large update because as you can see we have the Aquascape in the tank. We got a brand new return pump in the corner box filter, and in there as well is a brand new ATO system. So we're going to first just jump into the scape. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. I am really proud of it. It did take me 4 days to construct it using Nios Reef cement. I used D&D aquarium putty, and I used super glue as well. So obviously the super glue just for the little bits, and then the putty did the little medium-sized pieces like the little archways like this, and at the back I used putty for, and then the big kind of pieces like the big boulders in the middle, these bits, I used the Nios Reef cement. So I'm going to give you a closer look here. So we've got a big archway here. Obviously the grey bits in between here and there and that, all that is cement. Obviously when you get algae and you get coralline algae growing on there as well, all that will be hidden, not that you can really see it that much anyway. So I really like that big arch there. So obviously you can see there's lots of placement for coral, and it's not particularly high as well. It's not really to the top of the waterline. It's about halfway, just under. Well, the top bit obviously you can see is this archway here. That's putty there, a D&D putty. So we can see top down. So we've got lots of branches coming out. We've got some plate kind of out here. This isn't actually all one structure. It's actually two. So if we look down through, so if you can see that little crack right there, there's a little line, a little gap down right straight through the middle. That's where the two pieces, like, kind of, they're resting against each other. So all of that is one piece. This branch all the way through down here, this is connected to this, and then you got this bit, this purpley bit, connected to this kind of T bit. So it's like a T. That's one piece. So this piece is resting up against this, but it's all very, very solid. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. It's definitely the best one I've done. Definitely worth the 4 days that I spent doing it. The only thing with it is the big branch out here. You can see where the glass is. It's about 1 centimetre off it. The glass cleaner, which is at the back in the corner there, you can see it does get through it with about a few millimeters gap, but it just limits me to put in any large corals like right on the end there. You just got to be careful that corals don't grow too close to the glass there. That's the only thing with it. But the magnet does go through, and I'll just be careful with the coral placement. So that's the Aquascape, and then I've got a bit of a story with the return pump, which is in there. Because I was running a Eheim Compact 600, which obviously was 600 litres an hour, but it wasn't enough because the surface had quite a big film on it, and there was loads of little bits on there that wasn't kind of getting sucked over down here because there wasn't enough draw, and that was because there was only 600 litres an hour getting pushed out. There wasn't much getting sucked over the grates, so we used this Jecod return pump that I already had. It's 2,500 litres an hour. I've got it on full power now, and it does make a bit of a trickling sound down here. This is the second one I've had, because I had the one before this, which I was using in the sump when this was a sump system. Obviously it's all a box filtered out. It's all the filtrations in here instead of being in the sump. Anyway, I had a Jecod 2,500 return pump running on here, and it started making a funny noise, like the flow kept on variating, kept on ramping up and doing it kind of. The flow kept on blipping and changing. It wasn't a continuous flow, so obviously it was an off pump. The motor was obviously off with it, and so we took it back. We switched out with another one, which is this one. And then this one has started to do the same thing. It's doing it right now. You can't really hear it. It's quite quiet. It doesn't really pick up on camera. But it's doing the same thing. And it is a known thing with the 2,500 Jecod return pumps. So you might want to watch out with that if you're looking to get one of these return pumps. I'd have a look on getting one of the larger versions of the Jecods return pumps, because they are good. The other ones are alright. It's just the 2,500s are known to be can be a bit off. So this is the second one in a row that I've had make a funny noise and just not working correctly as it should. So what I'm going to do, what I've ordered, is a Eheim Compact 1000, which is smaller than this. It's a lot cheaper. They are quiet. I've had the external filters, I've had the 600 running. Obviously they are really quiet, so I'm just going to run one of them on it instead of a Jecod one, because the only thing this is offering is a controller, really, which I don't need. I don't need to adjust it, because the Compact 1000, obviously it's 1000 litres an hour. I think you can actually adjust them from the actual pump itself. I think so. Not that I would anyway. I just have it in full power the whole time, 1000 litres an hour, which is just enough for this tank. Anything from like 1000 upwards is alright, but when you start to getting over 2000 litres an hour, it starts making a trickling sound. Obviously where the water comes down, it gets sucked down so fast. It's on full power now, 2500, and it's kind of starting to make a bit of a swirl. Up there you can see water, air's trying to get sucked down. So that pump should be here, I think tomorrow, probably tomorrow. So obviously I'll give this one back, and then I'll get the Eheim strapped on here tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully that runs alright. And then we got the Doser, the new one, which is a completely different brand. I was running it was a Tunze one, auto top off, and now I've got a D&D one. This is the same one my dad's running. The only reason I got this one is because the Tunze didn't really fit in here, because you can see the U-bend in there for the outlet. It was in the way, so this one's a lot smaller. It's about a third of the size. It's a lot quieter as well, a lot more reliable as well, because that one's kind of, it's more mechanical really, because it's just used by like a little float switch, but this one's actually got like a light sensor, proper sensors on it. They're a lot more reliable. And then I've got my, down here, this is my RO reservoir, which I need to top up. Actually, it's virtually empty. This is the controller for the return pump that I'm running. So it's been running for about a week, maybe 10 days, I think, about 10 days, and it's been doing absolutely amazing. It's not a single issue with it. It's running perfectly. It's really quiet. It's been keeping the water level exactly where it should. You know, this is a bit lower down. That's a bit higher up. It's got a good draw down there. Yeah, it's perfect, that D&D auto top off. So I would really recommend the D&D one. It's probably the only one I'd ever get now. I would never get a Tunze one again, because they can jam and they're not 100% reliable. My dad has had multiple issues with them getting stuck, the float switch getting stuck. But these ones, nothing can really go wrong with them, maybe, really. I've heard no one else had issues with them. They're supposed to be really good. So that's the Scape, the return pump, and the new auto top off. The last thing for this update is the cycle, which has started. We've dosed some of this in. This is ammonia, just literally ammonia in a bottle. We've dosed some of this in. Yeah, we put those drops in yesterday, and we tested today. We tested nitrate, and there's no reading. We don't have an ammonia test kit, so we just tested nitrate to see if there was a level. We know it's cycling quite quickly, but there was no nitrate level, so we tested nitrate, and we have got a reading of nitrate, which means the bacteria in this biological, this is the only biological we have at the moment. I'm going to add some more, probably 3, if I can fit 4, depending on how big the return pump is that I get, the Eheim one. I'm pretty sure it's quite small, so I think I'll fit 4 of them, if not 3, will be more than enough. So that's processed ammonia within hours, obviously, and then nitrate, that's been sucked down all the way to 0, and now we've got a nitrate reading, which is really good. It's at 10 ppm, which is a good level. Definitely means that it is cycled and it is ready for fish. But before I do that, I want to get my return pump switched out, get this one out, get the new one back in, make sure it's all running correctly. And then some point next week, possibly in the next update, we might have some fish, which I know what I'm going to go for. I'm only having 2 fish in this tank. I want low bioloads. I'm going to focus on the corals mainly, rather than the fish. So I'm just going to go for 2. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to go for. I'm just going to show you when I get them, hopefully in the next update. So for next week, we might have some new fish. We're going to have a new return pump. So that's going to be another big update as well. So this one was a bit longer than usual. I apologise for that. Comment down below what you think of the scape. I really like it. Never going to change this ever. I'm really proud of this scape. Did take quite 4 days, but definitely worth it. So I'll catch you guys in a week's time. Bye.